Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Seekers Club of the Paranormal. No,
Oh,
let's do our own intro.
no. Let's try again. Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
I gotta tell somebody. Okay, Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians, where history meets the paranormal.
Oh, you did it.
Ooh, I got it right that time. But I got to start writing cue cards. I get everything
Well
wrong.
done. No, well
Yeah,
done. That was good. That was good.
yeah.
That was
So,
good.
how's
How
everybody in the
everybody
audience? We had a
coming
great
in?
weekend. I know it was me, Jenny, Ron Lourdes, Scott Riddick, Zach Bennett, and Zach's dad, and
Zach and Zach's
Heather,
dad.
Scott's wife, and of course Tracy and Kelly were there. We'll all spend the weekend at the Shanley Hotel. It
Yep.
was
Anthony's
awesome. We had a
favorite
great
place.
time.
It was good.
It was an awesome weekend. And Scott invited us, which he came all the way up from North Carolina, Piedmont Paranormal
Pretty cool.
Investigations, I think that's called, something like that. It's
hmm
PPI.
hmm
And I invited us up. I invited us to the go to Shannon with them. And of course, we had such a great time. Hey, Todd,
Always.
Camilla, Melissa.
Always.
Um, yeah, so we had a good time. Of course, we got a lot of stuff, and it was good. We had a great weekend. You know,
Yep. Yep.
so we got do the digital seance. I said it
Experience.
right.
The digital seance
Experience. Well,
experience.
I'm good with those right now. I'm getting closer. So we did that, and a lot of stuff going on. We had such a great time.
Yeah,
Kelly and Tracy treated us so well.
they
It was
do.
good. Of course,
They
I
do.
love that place, and those two are great women. They
They
always
are.
you know there for you. So
They are. And you brought the twins.
yes, I brought the
You
twins.
debuted
Oh, I forgot
debuted the twins.
the twins. That's my the Bella dolls. I put a bid on them as a joke. It was like a estate sale, and I got two of them. I won them.
Yeah.
I just put the minimum bet on it, and I won them. So
Oh my
they came with
God.
us, and they were great. Huh? They were cursing, and
Yeah.
they were cursing. Oh, the coolest thing! One of them said "rob it." Remember? One of them
Yeah. We
said
put the
"rob it." The
Robert
little girl
doll.
one says "rob it," and I didn't realize the woman Heather next to me just picked up a Robert doll, the haunted Robert doll that she had. They have a one at the Shanley, not the real one, but a copy of it. And she was bringing it over to put it on, and it said Robert. So I was like,
hmm
"Whoa, that was pretty cool." I
Yeah.
was like, "Wow, that was good." And then
They were
Tracy's
popular.
going into his face, going to one of it and say, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit." And the thing goes, "Bullshit." Back
I
to
don't
her and her
know.
and Lourdes. They come running out into the room. They go, "It was said bullshit to us," and they were like, "Oh, it's like they couldn't believe it actually answered." But that was pretty cool. The dolls were responding.
It
They
was
even brought
cool.
them out to the well and everything. Heather, Scott's wife, was running around with them, one in each arm. Going on each
Yeah.
location of the hotel, and she was like all excited. Like I think she was like you know really, she goes, these things are freaking me out. They're spooky, but I can't
She
stop
loved them. I
holding them and
know.
running with
She
them.
loved them. She was like, "Hey, what are
Yeah,
you doing?" Like talking like they were babies. I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
this is just too creepy."
I thought I was gonna like be missing one by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
We'd be
Yeah, they
going
really
down to
loved
South
them.
Carolina with her. But yeah, it was a great trip. It was great. They drove 10 hours to come up to
I
get to
know.
Shanley,
I know.
and oh yeah, they got up there. They got up there early because they left early the day before, and so yeah, they got up there. Of course, we all went out to eat. There's pictures on Facebook of us eating and
Of
everything.
course.
Yeah, so we had a good time. I love
We had
that
some
place.
cannoli. We had some
And
cannoli.
we'll
We
be
had
back
some
in
fun.
and this month, June twenty
We will.
first.
We'll be
We'll
back
be
in
back.
3 weeks. We'll be back.
We'll be back. So that's awesome. I can't wait for that.
I know, it's his
Our
favorite
friends
place
and
on
everything. Our power family. Our power familia.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we're gonna have a great show tonight. We have
we are missing somebody though tonight.
Oh,
and that's
yes.
Kim.
Kim. How can we forget Madam Kim?
I didn't. Poor
No.
Kim. She's not with us. She's
See.
working.
Yeah.
Doing her veterinarian thing, taking care of animals.
Yeah, well, she's going to be taking some time off. I think she's taking like a sabbatical or something, She's going into the mountains in one of those countries, and she's going to shave her head and pray. Yeah, she's going to Bali or something. She's going to become something.
She's going on an eat, pray, love
but she's taking
thing.
time off because her work schedule during the summer. She works at the racetracks, and it's really crazy for her because it starts like in May all the way to October. So she's not going to be able to make it. Her schedule goes through our show. So we're going to be missing Kim for a little bit there. So, yeah.
Yeah, but, the trio down one.
Yeah, the trio's going to be missing one. And
maybe I'll have to learn to be a location medium. Not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening, people.
Yeah. Some location you could do. I don't know. So
I could make something up.
Yeah, you can make it up. Yeah. Well, but let's start the show. We have a fantastic guest. I know him, and we've been friends for a while, Scotty and I. Matter of fact, I met him at the Shanley Hotel, and it was a while. It was a while since I met him, and him and I always like to rip each other apart. So it's like one of those, like me and Ron type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so he's a great guest. He's going to be a great guest tonight and stuff like that. And I know you know him, so let's bring him in. You want?
I'm lucky to know
introduce him. Introduce him and give him his intro.
Yeah, actually, usually I do a short intro, but this is such a good one that I really wanted to read it tonight. So tonight we have Scott Davis, also known to us as Scotty the Medium. He's got I want to, you always call me fangirl. I almost put Jenny the fangirl because I want to be a fangirl. Well. I was
Everybody comes on, you're a fan.
I know I am a fan though. We invite
he's good to have
heroes on. So Scott Davis is a keen evidentiary medium who faces danger head on. I love this. Whether as a former Marine during 2 tours of duty or now as a street cop pulling the graveyard shift. In Central New Jersey, shout out to Central New Jersey. And I know Scott started a debate on that today, so we'll have to get into that.
Yeah.
Whether there is because I live in Central New Jersey. He's also an avid paranormal investigator, and I've investigated with Scott, and he's wonderful, and a budding remote viewer, which is Kim's thing, remote viewing. The unexplained doesn't scare him most of the time. Never seen Scotty scared, but he's not afraid of what he can see. He's more concerned about what everyone else can't see. Let's welcome Scotty. Look, everybody's fangirling.
My goodness.
Here he is.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
I love that intro. I love it.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to see you there. My name is Scott. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming, Scotty. We're so happy to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, me too. I was excited that you guys invited me. Yes.
In Central New Jersey.
In Central New Jersey. I mean, if you say it exists, I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, would you call me North?
One of your biggest fans you're not going to argue with.
Yeah,
no.
Come on. Look, I even have a Scotty the Medium.
What? Look at that
coaster.
That's limited edition coasters.
Limited edition. It's going to be worth a lot of money one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really.
The paper it's printed on.
I better not use it. Yeah.
No, definitely. I have more. Use them. Save your furniture.
It's so cute. And I've got my donuts. I'm ready.
Oh, you got your donuts for our...
I got donuts.
What's up?
Ghosts and donuts.
Derek.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, you got
guy. I squeeze them down here when I get really frustrated and can't take anymore. I give him a good squeeze and then I put him down and I get back to work.
Aww.
The little guy takes a lot of abuse. Yeah.
Well, you should have them with cannoli, Anthony. You should have a ghost with a cannoli, with a canolo.
That's a canolo?
It's a singular for cannoli. You know, I got
You
the
know what?
grammar police going.
It's a
Cannolo.
singular cannoli, everyone.
That's
You
what I'm
should
here
know this.
for.
I know.
Listen.
I know guys call something canolos.
I'm going to write that down right now. Ghost and cannoli.
Ghost and
Ghost
cannoli.
and cannoli. We
I
had
got it.
cannoli
Put it in my
bowl.
notebook.
Yeah,
That's
yesterday at the
perfect. We'll make
Shanley.
one.
Well, I had
Yeah.
one of the guests we had from Japan. After we got off the show, she made me a couple. Look,
Oh,
Isn't that
nice.
cool?
That looks awesome.
The spelling is
Yeah, it's wrong.
but
That's
I think
okay.
it's so cool.
Those are fun.
So cute.
Yeah, I was like, she's in Japan and she's sending me pictures of cannolis. I'm like, in Japan? I thought it'd be like sushi or something like that.
You're
And it's like, no.
legendary.
But that's pretty cool. I thought it was very cool. It was very nice how to do it.
We all know that treats are part of paranormal investigating. You have to have your treats.
Yes, you need the quick sugar 100%, pretty much all night,
Okay.
and coffee, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
how we all survive.
Well, I got my
And
Red Bulls and coffee, so it's something going on there. Yeah.
I think
Brave.
you've had a few tonight.
Oh, I'm on I have two inside my cup right now.
Oh my
I can
gosh.
tell. Yeah.
You know,
You
so
go.
I have to. Because today was one of those days. Like if I didn't take my Red Bull, my wings are not there no more today. It's like one of those
He's
rough
gonna
days.
levitate.
Yeah. If I levitate,
That'd be pretty
You might-
sweet. I'd like to see.
yeah, I know. If I levitate, Johnny be out with her the DV was it DV60 whatever DR. What do you listen with?
I don't
But
know.
she has a
VR60.
recorder. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You
The
speak
DR60.
Anthony.
I got you.
Yeah. Thank you. See, somebody got me.
So you guys were at the Shanley this weekend. What was there any kind of like good like standout piece of evidence that you all picked up?
Everybody picked up something. I know the Jenny. What did you get? You got a couple voices and stuff like that. I got the thing with the
Always.
dolls. The dolls were
Always.
going off. Those two
Yeah.
dolls.
Yeah.
I was like,
And your two dolls. That's so interesting
for
to
me,
me when. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jane.
No, go please.
I was just going to say that it's always interesting that when things are introduced into the Shanley, how the spirits there and possibly whatever energy is brought with you there kind of like interrupts each other and sometimes makes some really interesting phenomenon happen. It's been interesting to watch in the last couple of years, different items come to the Shanley Hotel and how they add to the atmosphere of the place and the kinds of reactions that the resident ghosts start getting when this new energy started getting put in there. And a lot of dolls, of course, are a part of that decor at the Shanley Hotel. Whether they're all haunted or not,
yeah.
I don't know, but definitely a really cool phenomenon. So it's neat that you had your two dolls there that I guess you feel like there's something going on with them and you brought them there and they started having all kinds of reactions. And while I was backstage, I was listening to your conversation about the intelligent response of it saying Robert for that little Robert the doll that they have there.
Yeah.
So that is always fascinating to me because it really just shows that beyond what we know and understand, there are things or something watching us and they are able to now, connect with us. And it's just a really interesting sort of phenomenon. And I think that if anybody's watching, if you've not been to the Shanley, if you wanted the most chance of something paranormal happening, that would be the place that you should go, in my opinion.
For sure. For sure. I agree.
It's like, I'd say like 85% of the time that I've been there and I have a key to the front door, so I'm there a lot. I can tell you that they have such a high rate of things that happen. We've been sitting in broad daylight at like 1 PM, just like having a snack and have crazy things just pop off. And it's just really a fantastic location for anybody to go visit and definitely investigate for sure.
Definitely.
Tracy went up to the dolls with the Mort mask.
Uh-huh.
And the doll said Mort. And we all heard it say Mort. And it was like,
it did.
It was like, didn't it say that? And Tracy goes, yeah, it did. Of course, nobody had cameras on at the time or anything recording because we were
that's
breaking
always
at
the
that
way.
time. And so then I throw everything on and didn't do it again. But it was interesting. It said it. And it said it a couple of times before we got the cameras on.
I think
Yeah.
I had my body camera on, so we'll check.
Did you?
that.
Oh, so you got to go
Yeah.
back with that.
Yeah,
That was
I'll be up
interesting.
all night tonight.
But
Trying
that
to
was
find it.
it was an interesting night.
Yeah, it
was
was
an interesting
good.
night.
It's always different every time. If you want to get different, like you said, so many layers there.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, for anybody watching, just I'm going to plug real quick. I'll be there mid-July with Cindy Kaza. We have an event, and then I will be there with Mr. Dalen Spratt, I believe in December. So if you go over to thehauntedShanleyHotel.com, you can go to their events page, and if you want to hang out with me and Cindy or me and Dalen, please go over there and sign up and come hang out with us. We'd love to have you.
Cindy's
cool.
amazing.
Has Cindy been there? Has she been there before?
She just was there recently, about 2 months ago.
Mhm.
She held an event there with a workshop. She loved it. And of course, Kelly is I think I have to at this point pay Kelly as an agent because she does agent work for me all of the time, which is so funny. Kelly's the owner of the Shanley, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of nice things to say, and she convinced the amazing and lovely Cindy Kaza that we should work together and have an event, which is crazy because she's in my opinion one of the best mediums out there. So
Yes.
it's a big honor to be able to host alongside.
You're starting to work with a bunch of people that's been around for a while, and it was like the last year or so, maybe a little longer.
Yeah,
I just started seeing like, wow, I know him. You see you popping up.
Yeah, I'm sneaking in there.
It's like, holy cow,
you.
which is cool.
It's really again, I know that we all love Kelly, but I gotta say that for me personally, she's one of those folks who has helped push me really far with a lot of really well-known people and spoken so well of me for so long that it kind of just stuck. So I appreciate a big shout out to Kelly. Thank you for always being so nice and saying kind things, because in this business, the business side of it, it can be a little cutthroat. So it's nice to have really nice people like that around saying nice things.
That's And
For
Kelly,
sure.
she's a sweet woman. She's such a sweet person, and
yep.
And she'll come and she'll do investigation when she always comes down and sits with us and hangs out with us. And so her and Tracy and so we had a good time, and Kelly's always been good. Even Stephanie. Yep. Matter of fact, Stephanie's going to be with us. We're going to be there again on the 21st if you want to stop by and say hello.
Yeah.
Of June
21st.
I think it's a work weekend, but we'll see. Sorry.
You got work.
You know how it is.
I do.
I just want to quit work and ghost and investigate all the time. That's all I want to do.
Well, you got to wait till retirement. How many years you got on that? Like 30, 40?
Yeah, 100 years until I retire, pal.
Got 100 years.
Yep.
You're a young guy.
All good. Because while I have my regular job, which I'm very blessed for, it's really awesome to have this outlet that I have with a lot of amazing people like you folks. So I would have never met if I didn't start doing all of these paranormal investigations as I grew more interested in it. Right. So I'm very blessed in my life to have something that I love so much outside of my career. And I really enjoy the community for the most part is really amazing. And I really love going into these really cool and historic places. Like we ran into each other at Penhurst a week or two ago, right? They had the Penhurst Paracon. Did we see each other there?
Yeah, Penhurst I wasn't at.
No? Okay. So for me, my memory blends, unfortunately, because
I totally get it.
I thought I saw you there. But in any case,
we saw you in Bucks County.
That's right, Bucks County. We saw each other.
Yes.
It was pretty recent. Yeah.
So there was really cool locations like Penhurst and like the Shanley, Rolling Hills, and all these really maybe not the greatest places to have existed because of some of the trauma and things that happened there. But now looking back historically, I love being able to go in there and investigate. And, with that added perception of what might possibly be on the other side, I do really like interacting with those spirits who do want to talk and still feel like they are part of the living world. So, it's really nice to be able to go and peel those layers back and talk about the history and those people. Hi, Lourdes.
Right. And
We
you
got
like
Matthew
what
on.
I love what you say. People want a voice. I
Yeah.
love, and you say that in your new show, and you say that, and I've heard you say that before. Like, I love when you say that, they want a
There goes
voice,
Kelly.
and you
Hey,
become their voice. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Well, we all do, right? So I know we're all interested in, you know, interested in the exploration of paranormal and ghosts and the things that are beyond what are here in this dimension. So everybody in the paranormal field who sits down in the dark for a couple hours a week and sits a a recorder down to record EVPs, or is coming up with new gadgets, like our friend Tracy at the Shanley. She loves
Yes.
trying to figure out new ways to communicate, and she has the perfect place to do it. So everybody who really sits down and is really got positive intention about speaking with the other side and getting answers, we're all doing that work. And nobody is more or less important than the other person, as long as you're coming there to really be respectful of each other and those people on the other side. I think it's all of us. Everybody who enters into this, we're all doing that same job. So.
And I don't know about you, but don't you feel the energy when we get together, when all of us who have the right intentions get together? I feel like the energy just gets so positive and so good, and we do better.
Yeah, 100%. That's 100% true.
I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but you know what I mean, I think.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have good people getting together.
When there's good synergy with the team, with the people who are working together, it definitely helps you gel. Because when everybody puts their ego behind them and just is like, we're here to figure out what's going on, whether you're working on, you're going to the Shanley that we know is haunted, or you're going into, maybe somebody invited you into their home because they're experiencing paranormal activity. So if everybody going feels equal, and nobody is like, the better person for anything, you really can go there and have some really amazing experiences for sure.
Yeah. Get it done. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
we
the
definitely.
is always a very favorite. Like I said, I've been going there since Sal, and then now Kelly. Kelly's did a phenomenal place. She really did a great job on that place.
Yeah, and still is
to what is, and she's still working on everything. So I mean, I really applaud them. Her and her husband really, and Tracy helping out and stuff.
Yep,
but
absolutely,
they're putting a lot into it, and I recommend that place 100%.
I agree. Yep, the spirits are in.
The spirits are in. Yeah. I can get that. I got like 3-4 shirts from them already. It's like,
Me too. Me too.
I going back with Sal with the green shirt, with the ghost, like they had the outside. The sign for years.
The poor sign had to go. It was rotted away.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
how long
okay.
have you been going there, Scotty? How long have you been going to the Shanley?
I think since like 2018 or 19. So not as long as a lot of people, but a pretty good time.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it feels like it, right?
Yeah, it does. And the place, even though it's been changing for the better and getting fixed up, it's still like this time capsule. And just every time I walk, like the first time I walked into that place, a couple things happened to me that I was like, I experienced and I really love and I still do. So one of the things that I experienced was I went there as a private guest. My paranormal team that I was with at the time rented it out for the evening. I got there late, much later than everybody else. So Kelly opened up the door for me, and I remember thinking when the door opened, I was like, wow, this place is actually haunted. Like I could feel it, which was a strange thing because I've been a lot of places that people are like, it's haunted. And it's like kind of like maybe not that haunted. When the door to the Shanley opened, I remember, I think I even said it to Kelly, like, oh, this is haunted. Like this is the real thing. I could feel it.
Haunted.
Right. Yeah. Right at the door. I could feel it. So I experienced that. And then the other thing that was happening was I felt like I belonged there for some reason, like the aesthetic and the vibe of the whole place. Like I could live there. I mean, it would be no problem for me. The only thing they're missing is like a nice, oh no, actually they just put the big screen TV in. So that's really all I'd be missing. There's like 3 or 4 bathrooms and showers and, all the good stuff in there. So yeah, lots of beds to jump on.
To go.
And now they're going to be putting a sink in
Anthony too.
the
Oh yeah, they're
outside
putting a
area.
sink in
Now they're putting a sink outside the
in the
bathroom.
lobby,
They have a
like in
they have the cabin out there and the
Oh,
piping.
okay, cool.
So they're gonna be putting a sink there. That's cool. That place is awesome, really is, and
Yeah.
they
He could
they
live
do such
there.
a great
He could
job.
live there too.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? I could live
Definitely.
there. I live in the Bordella.
He could live there.
And I can't give too much out, but
Do
I
you
will
have a
tell
favorite?
a favorite what?
A favorite room?
Oh,
I do.
yeah,
I have a
I
favorite
love the
room.
gentleman's quarters. As far as like where to stay and sleep, I'm a
Mm.
gentleman's quarters guy all day. And for anybody who doesn't
Yep.
know, I love talking about the Shanley. In the Shanley, there's a room. It's very large and it has 5 beds in it. There's a lot of cool paranormal stuff that happened in there, but over the years, it served a lot of purposes, and one of them being housing for military men for some period of time, and then it was also used for gambling and such. So it has this real like cool like guy vibe when you walk in. At least I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Man
my
cave.
favorite. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a cool
Very
room.
nice.
Yeah,
I always stay in the
we're getting stuff
Roosevelt
in there
room.
this weekend too. You know.
Yes.
So, our question is: how did you get started? How did you know that you were gifted with your abilities?
So it's always a really funny story with that one. For anybody who's heard it before, I'll try to keep it light and humorous as always. So, of course, like any medium will probably tell you, or anybody who does what I do at some level, will say like, hey, when they were kids, they experienced some things, which I did. And boy, I can't. Speaking of which, divert for 1 second. I was just there about a month ago with Dave Schrader hosting an event, and I had. Imagine having one of the greatest interviewers and paranormal people of our time sitting in front of you playing tic-tac-toe with that wooden board and just digging in. He like literally like interviewed me like he was Barbara Walters of the paranormal, and I recorded it. And he pulled this like really crazy memory out of me and helped me put some things into perspective, which I'm going to put up on my YouTube very soon. It was really, really
Cool.
interesting, and it changed my idea of how I grew up and how I experienced things, which is really interesting at 43 years old to have a core memory from being a child, and at 43 years old kind of have it changed, or the perspective changed a little bit. And it was for the better. So I'm not going to give it away the conversation, but it will be up on my YouTube, which is Scotty the Medium on
Very
YouTube.
cool. Very
So-
cool. That is
so
unusual.
Yeah. So as a kid, I experienced some interesting things. My mom, later on in life, would tell me some stories about things I said that kind of freaked people out when I was little about talking to people who weren't there, and so forth. Then through my growing up, adolescence into teenager, really would just experience a high rate of paranormal stuff. But I kind of thought that was normal for everybody, right? Like I had a really deep interest in all things paranormal. Of course, paranormal programming at the time was like all scripted, like X-Files and Twin Peaks and all those sorts of things. And we didn't get the reality ghost shows until early 2000s. So that it was all books and whatever I could find. Sightings was one of my favorite ones growing up.
I love sightings. Yeah.
Yep. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
had all this really high interest, but there wasn't much of a group like we have now, right? Like, because all the weirdos, we all kind of came out of the woodwork and found each other with the internet. So,
Yes.
so, anyways, it wasn't until I was about 31 years old or so that really the switch flipped. Something happened. I wasn't looking for paranormal in this kind of way. I wasn't trying to be a medium or a psychic or anything like that. I came home after my shift in law enforcement. My wife was getting dinner ready. I went to take a shower and I got my brain real quiet. I'm, just soaking up, doing my thing, like just kind of decompressing from all the day. And all of a sudden, this voice sort of chimed into my head that didn't belong to me, and it started talking, and it was talking in a way that I don't speak. So I thought it was interesting. And then I started seeing some like pictures or photographs and movies, like kind of memories that didn't belong to me. They didn't make sense. So my first thought as this started to happen is I'm standing here soapy in the shower, hot water in the face. I'm like, I am losing my mind. I'm losing it. I'm going to lose my job because it was so loud inside of my head in a way that I never experienced before.
Oh my goodness.
I was afraid. I was like, I'm going to be in trouble. But for something else clicked at the same moment. as I'm witnessing this stuff that's kind of going through my head, the inquisitive part of me kicked in and was like, get a notebook and write this stuff down. And another part of it was like, I was asking, because the voice that was there didn't belong to me and seemed to be giving me interesting information. I was like, okay, who are you? Like, I'm thinking who are you? This is Pop, and your mom's friend is my daughter. Just give her this information. Basically, is like how it came across. So, I wrote this information down in a notebook. I called my mom. I'm still dripping wet out of the shower. I'm like, Mom, can I call so and so and ask her about this information that I and my mom, like, as I'm telling her what happened, she's like, oh my God, you're doing it again. Because this is what she experienced when I was a kid too, to some level. Like, there's these weird stories about talking to people who were not here. So she says, yep. She puts me in touch with her friend. And this is where it gets really neat. Her friend was so cool about this. She was like, yeah, come over and show me what you wrote down and we'll talk about it. So I go to this lady's house, and I show her the notebook, and all the things that I wrote down were all these really specific things about her dad, his nickname was Pop. That's what everybody called him. But the thing that really struck me as like, this is a real thing, or there's something to it, was he showed me a photograph in my mind of a man in a tuxedo and a woman next to that man, and the woman was wearing a pink dress. She had pearl earrings, and she had brown hair, and it was really nicely done. And her name was Anna, and I could smell cupcakes baking while I saw that photograph. So I wrote all that information down, and when I got to that part of the notes when I was showing this woman, she said, you know what? My mom lives underneath me in the apartment below us. Can I call her up here and show her this? Now, this would be the widow, Pop's widow. So that woman comes upstairs and she goes, oh my God, hold on, I'll be right back. And she disappears and then comes back upstairs, and she has this big yellow book, and it's real kind of gross and old, and it's got dust on it. And she puts it down, she blows it off, and she starts going through it. And I'm like, oh, it's a wedding album, photo album. And she flips, and guess what? Here's a photo of the man in the tuxedo and the woman in the pink dress, just as I had explained it. Oh, wow. And this book, these photographs were taken many years before I was born. And it was her husband on his wedding day with his mom, Anna. And that's how she was dressed for the wedding. And she was a prolific baker. She baked every single day of her life pretty much until she passed. So when the other stuff was kind of anecdotal, but it was very strong evidence that I was talking to her dad. But this was borderline proof, this photograph, right? Because there's no way that I could know about this photograph buried inside of a wedding album that nobody had opened in 40 years. And it was taken 30 years before I was born. You know what I mean? So to me, that really got things going. So I was like, what is this? What did I just experience? And could I do it again? Or could I disprove it? Right. So I started sitting with people. I found a Facebook group of psychic development folks who were really nice and took me in. And the more of this I did, the more people were like, wow, you're really good at this. And the more I had to kind of come to terms with the fact that it was real, like this is actually happening. So that's how that train went. It was really strange because I literally was not looking for this to happen. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's real. And then, then you have all the stuff you wrote down was verified by the woman, the wife of the man you were talking about. And then she had the album, a photo album, which verified everything you talked about. And there's no way you're going to know anything about that. So that is so satisfying probably to you. Like, wow, I really did this. And you're probably so like, that was like a changing, probably a turning moment in your life saying, oh, I can do this.
Yeah. So that's where it kind of changed. And I really dove into it head first because I really thought it was something interesting, and I still don't understand. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm not really sure why I was afforded this interesting gift, or why it came away the way that it did, or why I can continue to use it and develop it in different kinds of ways. but I'm happy for it, and I really try to do my best to use it for good, and help people out when I can. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting thing
Love
to be
it.
able to do.
Love it.
And you share it.
You
That's
mentioned a
about it.
couple. Yeah, definitely. You mentioned a couple different things there, and I have questions as a non-psychic medium. Um, I know that you have different abilities like smell, hearing. You have a lot
Mhm.
of them. Some people only have one, correct? Like,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people just can have smells, right? It's clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, right?
yep.
Like, which ones do you feel that you have? Like, do you have a list? Can you list them
Yeah,
for
no,
us?
I know them well. We have to operate. Me and my silly gifts have to operate together every day. So yeah.
Okay.
So my strongest one is clairvoyance, which is just the ability to see things psychically. So when I talked about seeing that photograph, my eyes are closed and the photograph appeared where my imagination is basically. So I know it's kind of weird to give a non-physical, um, not like experience to a physical place, but I can only say to other people who can do this, if you can close your eyes and picture an apple, um, and if I say to you, like, okay, close your eyes, it's black and you don't see anything, but I want you to just think about a really red, delicious, juicy apple. It's got a little
Right.
brown stem on it and the green leaf, right? So most people can see that. That's literally the same space that my clairvoyance happens in. So basically, I let it clear out, and that's where spirit puts pictures and stuff for me to try to analyze and play charades and figure out. So that's my clairvoyance. Then there's clairaudience, which is the clear ability to hear spirit messages. They're not exterior audio, they're inside. So the same place that
Okay.
your inner dialogue is occurring, that's where that I hear those things as well. They just hijack into basically they plug their aux into my clairaudience, and they can talk. A lot of time people ask me a lot, like, well, what if they didn't speak English, the people who you're trying to talk to? So we go back to the clairvoyance. They have flashcards, like all of my memories, the Rolodex of my life, that they can go through and pick out similar things so that I understand. So we all know what a car looks like. We know what a gallon of milk looks like. We know what a baby looks like. So even if they don't speak English, they can go through and be like, select the menu of like pictures for me to talk about in order to bring the message through. And then what happens generally is after that happens, this strange connection happens where no matter what they're saying, it just comes to me in English and I can repeat it. So and again, I don't know why it works that way. It's just the way my gift kind of developed, right? Then after that, clairsentience and cognizance are these two abilities where you kind of feel and know things inside of you, and that's that real intuition. And I think that everybody, for the most part, has at least that. Like when you get that feeling inside your body, and you're like, I got to call Aunt Claire real quick, and she's like, oh my God, your uncle just fell off a ladder. Like that's just that
Or I was
clairessence.
just thinking of you. That
Yeah,
right, like
right.
that. Like, oh, I was just thinking
Yes.
about you. How
That's
did you
when
know?
like the phone
Yeah.
rings and you're like, I was about to call you.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
we've all had
Type of
that.
thing.
Yeah,
So
even me.
it's really interesting to go through that. And then the smell is not something that I would ever rely on, but when it comes through, it's usually really strong. And I always forget that. I think it's Claire Gustin's. And then there's the taste one too. So
That's Gustin's.
that's
I think
Gustin's. Yeah, I can't remember the smell one. So smells, we all know what everything smells like for the most part in our lives. But what's interesting is when it comes to the taste, is I've had different experiences. So it's not always like pleasant taste. Like I've actually had, for Anthony, this would be him when he's on the other side in a long, long time from now. People have fed me cannolis and like bread and like kiwis. One time a lady was stuffing my mouth full of sponge cake. And I was like, I almost felt like it was actually in my mouth. I'm like, whoa, what is this lady doing? And I said it to the person I was reading for. She was like, that's my sister. Yeah, you couldn't get in her house without her stuffing pound cake or that kind of stuff in your face.
That's funny.
So
Yum.
it was funny. But then, another interesting thing happens is where like I could taste alcohol. So I know that there's some sort of alcohol message that will go with it. Or I can taste metal. And I know that is now from doing many readings that's like a cancer treatment taste. So
It is.
yeah, so a lot of people have reported that to me. So for anybody who's listening to this and might want to understand a little bit about themselves and their own abilities, like just take stock of what you know about the regular world around you. And then when you feel that something is, especially if you're doing a ghost hunt or you're looking for that sort of thing, think about how your emotions have changed, your thought pattern has changed. You have to be very self-aware when it comes to this, and that's something that I learned along the way of doing this mediumship stuff. So like you have to be really self-aware of yourself. So in the morning when I get up, I got to recognize like, okay, today my left hip hurts, my eyes hurt for a little bit because I'm dehydrated, and I'm kind of in a funky mood. So that's how I am today. So that way during the day, if something happens and I change my mood, if I for some reason become very excited and happy, and I'll be like, okay, that's not me. Why do I feel this way? And I'll try to see if there's something influencing me. Or it could go the other way. I could feel something really angering or grief or like sadness, and I'll have to stop and be like, okay, now why do I feel this way? And then that's how we sort of start to tune in and understand and get the mediumship abilities going.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those things that you were talking about with the taste and smell, and through the years, I experienced all that stuff too. But I didn't know everything had a different name to it. Everything has a name nowadays. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and it's like everything has a name now. It's like, because like with the smells, like I smell flowers, cigars. I can smell a cigar from a mile away, but cigars, smoke, or whatever. And the taste, I always thought like the taste of metal was more like blood. Blood taste.
It can taste that way.
Yeah. Like, that's every time you taste it out, like on Gettysburg in the battlefield, like it tastes, I get that,
So if you do that, then what I would do is if you really thought that somebody's trying to connect with you and that was one of the first like spirit signs they were giving you, I would stop at that moment, recognize that the taste of my mouth changed. I believe that it tastes like blood or something similar. Then what I would do is I would close my eyes and take a breath and say out loud, who are you? And just see what information comes to me. And I think that you would be surprised at it may not always be a Civil War soldier out there. It may not always be somebody who passed away in that immediate spot. What you might see is a piece of the battle and that you're standing where 30 bodies were stacked up. That's the thing is you're not always going to be interacting with intelligent information. It could just be stuff that is stacked and layered, and you're just kind of stepping into it. And since you've opened yourself spiritually to be able to experience these things, you're going to walk through them and experience them that way.
Yeah, because when I the spirit art I do, and I see the things and I draw it, and of course sometimes I get a smell like I had at the Shanley. I drew a picture of a man with a long beard and stuff, but it was like a bad smell. It was like a body odor type of bad smell, and I drew the guy, but I mean, I experienced a lot of that through the years also. A lot of audio and everything. And
I've seen so much of your spirit art. You're fantastic at doing the spirit art like that. So there's no doubt that if you were just training a little bit, you could get those other senses up and running and really hone in on them and give really great readings.
Yeah. I agree with you. He's amazing.
I've been thinking about stuff like that, going and see if I could talk to people about it, because when I was coming up and doing this, I had nobody to talk to. It's like
I understand.
And so everything, and it's like now I'm learning, like everything has a name for it. There's training on this. There's training. I'm like,
So this is a big thing to talk about. And I'm glad that you brought that up. So when I started going and trying to look into all of this stuff, that's the same thing I was running into. Like, take my course. It's $500 for 6 hours, and we'll certify you, and all these other things. Everything had a high price tag on it. And meanwhile, I'm like, I make $40,000 a year, and I got a kid and a wife, like a house and all. You know what I mean? Like, I can't afford that. So what I could afford was going and buying really inexpensive books for $8 or $9 at Barnes and Noble. So I would go and I would pick these books up and just devour them and go to the library and get those and read those. And that was part of my training. But the real training for anybody, and believe me when I tell you this, the real training is going. If you're going to go to a location, go with no prior information about the place. Go with somebody who does know the information, and just go there and open up and just say the things that you're experiencing, whether they sound silly or not. Write them down, and then go back and have your friend who you trust with the information and see what points you hit on. You'd be really surprised at the things that you're going to actually pull out that are very, very correct and very poignant to the place that you're at. It's the same thing with doing readings for somebody sitting down with a client. It was the same kind of training. Like, I would find people in this Facebook group and just have a half-hour video call with them and be like, all right, don't tell me anything. I'm going to write all the stuff down that comes in, and then we'll go back over it, and you can help me understand what I got right, what I got wrong, and how it might apply to you, so that I understand for the next time. And that's how I built that ability to do that. And it's difficult. It was a year of just me feeling around the dark and figuring that stuff out before I was like, okay, maybe I could start doing this a little bit more professionally. But it takes work, because when it comes to this, and you both know this, I'm just saying this for anybody who's in the audience that might care. We are caretakers when we do this. And it's very important that we are putting our best foot forward and absolutely bringing 100% authenticity to what we're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that, when I go place and I draw a picture, and sometimes people give me pictures of a place, and I'll draw what I see in the picture, and then they're like, oh, and then they have a picture of like something similar to what I drew. And that always is like amazes me. Like, wow, look, check this out. It's similar. You can see in the eyes, maybe the mouth and stuff.
Yep.
And I find that amazing.
It's validating.
You're like a sketch artist for the afterlife. I mean, that's brilliant.
I love that.
I draw. I draw. What's it called? I draw the dead. I'm getting old. I can't remember nothing no more.
He doesn't. Yeah.
Me too.
But I draw faces of the dead.
Yes, right. Which is really, really interesting.
It is very interesting.
If I could tell you the amount of focus that takes, like, to be able to close your eyes, or whatever your method is, and to draw details of these people is just amazing. To have that connection for that long, to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
like I said, when I draw something, people, like, when they verify my picture with another picture, I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So,
Ron Iacovetti was just saying that, he works with mediums and does the digital seance experience at the same time, and gets that immediate. Yes. He's obviously you've worked with him. So how's that for you when you're able to validate live like that?
Oh my gosh!
With these voices coming, like, I just find that fascinating when he works with media. When he and Lourdes work with mediums.
Working with Ron and Lourdes is so much fun because I feel like it brings to life the actual things that I'm talking about, and it's really for those of us who live in this world of like instant gratification, like, being able to say, like, okay, I think there's a man standing here, X, Y, and Z, and give a description, and do this with a crowd of people, and then have Ron and Lourdes' equipment start validating those things by speaking on what we're talking about is amazing. I think it was last year or the year before at the New Jersey Paranormal Paracon in Woodbridge. They always do their room there, the digital seance there. And a woman came in and she was standing there, and I felt compelled to walk towards her while they were doing the session, while Ron and Lourdes were conducting their session. And as I got near her, some information started coming through, and I spoke out loud about it. And then the name, I believe the name that she was listening for came through Ron and Lourdes' equipment, which might have been Tommy, I think, if I remember right. And it was this woman's son who had passed away many years before, and she had just been waiting for years to hear from him from the other side. So I had said some things that were very poignant and like hit for her. And then this voice comes over. And what was really amazing was she was like, that's him. Like, she was like, that's my kid's voice. Like, she knew.
Wow.
So when we can take our abilities and our specialties and put them together, it's an unbelievable
magic.
feeling. But
it's magic.
It's
really
magic.
is.
But it's magic because I know that woman was waiting for so long with so much pain and grief that for no reason on a Saturday in Woodbridge, New Jersey, in a high school, at this strange thing that we do, her son decided to come and pay her a visit, and she was able to release that from her heart and hopefully feel a little bit lighter on the way home. And from then on, feel lighter knowing that she heard from him and got 2 points of validation that fast. So yeah, that's, I think, especially with Ron and Lourdes, it's not about them. Like, mediumship isn't about me. It is about this thing that we all belong to, and we're trying to just help each other understand it and make better connections with each other here, but also with the other side, and bring love and caring and acceptance in this world that is having a very, very tough time accepting just the easy things in life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. It's ability to share with others. So, you know, I know in the past where I had people, we were doing spirit boxes, and their husband came through and their grandfather came through. And I had an 80-year-old woman and a 67-year-old woman. And we went to this house out in Farmingdale, Long Island. And it was SB7. The SB7, that's all it was. Put that on a speaker, and the first thing came out was Walter. And the woman's like, that's my father. That's my father. And the other one, that's my grandfather. That's my great grandfather. And they were like, he built this house.
Oh, that's awesome.
He actually was, he went and he actually physically built the house himself, put the bricks and everything. Yeah, he was on construction, and he actually built that house. And the woman's like, I never thought I'd ever hear his voice again.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and then at the end of the night, we went around, and he happened to be an electrician and everything to Local 25. That's out Long Island, and Local 3's in here. And he's part of my international. So I kept on pulling out my union card because he was a steward out there. I said, here's my card. And he kept on answering my questions. And she was so amazed. At the end of the night, the old lady hugged me, and she goes, I never thought I'd hear him. And it gave her, validation that, and she goes, I want him here. I don't want him to go nowhere. And gave her validation and her daughter validation that the man was still there.
Yeah, it's amazing. What an amazing gift. And that would never happen if there weren't people like you guys and the rest of this community out there doing this.
Right.
And I really think that's what it's about.
That humanity, like that connection, that humanity.
Yes.
I love that word.
Yes.
And even if it's not that, sometimes it's, information for someone who loves a building, who needs information about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not that special. It's just a fact, that someone needs, but it's important to them. So it's important.
Yeah, it always
it's not
depends.
About us, like you said.
Exactly.
It's not about us.
It always depends on the location or the people that are looking for the answer that we're helping out. But yeah, it's sometimes it is about information. Like we talked about the Ritz Theater, I believe, the last time we were together, which is one of those places that you guys love to go, and I was lucky enough to go there with you guys maybe once or twice, and I remember walking in, and there was a spirit that was out of place, at least in my mind, for a theater. And it was this priest, and he was telling me, he's like, I'm very upset. And I said, well, what are you upset about, sir? He said, there's this blasphemy, and he showed me these upside down crosses. And I was like, well, that's so strange. Why would that be in a theater? And I brought it up to somebody who worked there, and they were actually building a set for Macbeth, I think, because the theater is a working theater. And they were building a set for Macbeth, and a part of that set was these upside down crosses. So from somewhere in that space, the spirit of this priest must visit the theater or be close by, and witness them doing this, and was like, no way, you can't do that. Like, not realizing that it's for performance and not actually something real. People believe.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought that
That's
was,
so funny.
Isn't that interesting? So you just never know what you're going to
really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really, how would he know? How would he know? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You make assumptions. Like, and I always say, don't assume anything. Don't assume anything.
Yeah. So
that
takes a long time to be able to beat. So people ask about that all the time. Like, well, how do you know that this is actually true, what you're witnessing? Well, I don't go anywhere with expectations of what I'm going to see or pick up or understand, because most of the time I really don't understand what I'm talking about when I get somewhere. If you want a blind reading in a location, I'm just going to tell you everything that I'm perceiving when I step into that world, and we'll figure out what the context is later, and hopefully it's really specific. So when I start witnessing things that really make no sense to the space I'm in, I have to remember, like, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay, because this is just how it happens. And you're just going to say what you see. It doesn't matter if it looks like it fits here or not. It will, hopefully.
And that's experience. That's from your experience. And Kim, our colleague in this, she does remote readings. Obviously, we give her a picture before the show. We don't tell her where it is. We don't tell her who the guest is. She records it, as you do on your new show, right? Your vlog, and gives it to us. And then we tell her, later. So on the show, live, she figures out what really happened, in this place.
So cool.
And we make that connection. But as she's doing it, she's like, I don't know what this means. And I don't, that kind of thing. And, and inevitably it makes sense in the end, but because she's very, very good. But you reminded me of her when you were doing your vlog for your new show, which you recorded before you got to the location. That's very much what Kim
have to get into soon.
So so remote reading is new for you, correct?
Well, it's something that I definitely had not tested to the ability of my mediumship abilities. So I've always, since the mediumship kind of kicked in, the remote viewing has also been just something that I could do, but I didn't know what it was at first, because I had never experienced it. And once I think I was like listening to a podcast, and somebody was talking, and they started to describe what I was experiencing when I would do remote viewing by accident, or things like that would happen. And I'll tell, for anybody who doesn't know what remote viewing is, the simple breakdown of it is that you sit in one location without any idea or expectation of a target area or a target item, and you just give all of the information on it completely blindly. It doesn't have to have anything to do with the paranormal whatsoever. It could just be a shopping mall, a pen on a desk, a human being, and it's just a really interesting phenomenon. So it's something that I can do. And what happened was, over the last 2 years, I've been growing my TikTok. And one of the fun games that we would play was I would be live, and people in my comments section, I would say, okay, if you want me to remote view into your space, give me permission, and say me in the comments, and I would pick somebody, and then I would just close my eyes and hone into that space through my ability, and describe things that were around them. And it became a really fun game that I would say I was about 80% accurate on what I would come up with, right down to the fact that I kind of embarrassed this lady by accident, because I started to describe something, and in the comments, she was like, stop. And I was like, and I just kept going because my eyes were closed. And then when I opened my eyes, everybody was cracking up in the comments, because I had described a lady device, maybe, that would be used in the bedroom. And it was allegedly sitting right next to her when I was doing my
Oh
thing.
my
So
god.
she was super duper embarrassed. It was really funny. And again, I didn't know what I was describing, and I drew a shape and stuff, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous." So, and remember, it was for that specific person, so I know, and so we would do that. So
Oh my
other times, like I would talk about patterns on walls, or just like different kinds of things. So I got good at it just by having a good time doing it with no like expectation that I was going to be good at it. So then we moved, and there's a project that I worked on with two gentlemen that everybody knows, but I can't talk about, unfortunately. It's a little project we worked on that we're trying to get going, and we were using remote viewing to look at other things besides ghosts. And basically, what was really interesting to me with remote viewing is this: I organically learned how to do it, like the other stuff, and they found our producer found a woman who was trained by somebody who trained the CIA government to do this, to do remote viewing. So this woman is considered one of the top remote viewers in the world. So what we did for this program that we were working on was, she got a set of numbers and I got a set of numbers. We didn't know what we were targeting in on. She did her version of remote viewing that she was taught, and I did mine the organic way. And later on, we came together for the show, and my descriptions were just as accurate as the ones that she gave. And not only were they just accurate, they were so similar on the targets that we were given that her and I both were like, wow, that is incredible. Because her and I didn't even know each other. We met each other like when we were doing this remote call to record this segment, and it was really crazy. Like, so that boosted my confidence that I could be now, I'd say, qualified to do it, because I'm up, not against, because that's not the right word, but comparatively speaking to somebody who's been doing it for 30 years and was trained, it was really, really ridiculously spot on. So it was really cool to be able to have that experience. So
it's awesome.
That's amazing.
So
that's amazing.
So how do we apply that for what we do in the paranormal, right? So sometimes I get impressions about places that I'm going to go before I go there, which I think happens to a lot of investigators, but they may not necessarily recognize it as happening because they are not as tuned in and aware of themselves as I tend to be. So
or a dream. They have a dream.
Or yes, dream. Oh, I got a good dream.
Common.
I got a good dream story for you folks.
Oh, good. Because I do have those. I do have dreams before.
I'll give you a cool dream story real quick, and then we'll go, and it's a bit fortune tellery. It's really neat. And then we'll go talk about phantom forensics. So several years ago, I was sound asleep and I had this crazy lucid dream that I was walking up to this old house, and it was like this cool old Victorian type house. And I was like, I could feel like that spiritual energy in the dream. It was so cool. And this woman opens up the front door and she's like, I think you're here for me. Come in. And I walk in, and I see her beautiful house. I'm like, wow, it's gorgeous here. And she goes, yep, come on and sit. This is where all the mediums sit. And she brings me into this room off the right of the entrance. And we sit down. It's a parlor, and it's got this beautiful blue couch, and it's really well decorated. I could see seances happening, and I could see all these spirits all through the house. It was so crazy, this dream. And she sits me down on this couch, and I'm witnessing all this stuff. And she looks me in the eyes, and the dream kind of stops. And she goes, I'll see you soon. And I woke up, and I was like, what was that? I never had a dream like that.
I love it.
A couple days later, a friend of a friend calls me and is like, hey, Inside Edition needs a medium to go to a haunted house. And we know that you do that, and you're comfortable on camera. Do you want to come do this? And I was like, oh, sure. That's awesome. Let's do that. So we set it up, and I tell my partner, Patrick, who is my paranormal partner at the time, I told him about my dream. I gave him all the details, and I was like, I don't know if this has something to do with the location we're going to, because I think they are correlated, though. So as we get to the place, this is Miss Fanny's paranormal Victorian party house. in
Oh, Miss
Oh,
Fanny.
I know it. I know it.
yes,
Yes.
so it's
Been there.
Miss Fanny's. I had
been
never
there,
heard of
too.
it. I had never heard of it. I had never been there.
Oh.
And as we pulled up, I was like, dude, this is a Victorian house. And he was like, yes, it is. So
It sure is.
I let him go inside and get all the information, as we always would do on our investigations. And he came out and he was like, dude, I don't know how you got this information because everything that you said about this house in your dream, this is the house that you were talking about. It's 100%.
Wow.
So we went inside, and right on the right side was this big room. There's a big parlor,
Yes.
and it's where this lady, Miss Fanny, would have these seances, and all of these mediums would come in the house. I found to be that evening, during our investigation, very active. So that was a really interesting dream, that this woman came to me before I even knew I was going to be invited to do something. And it
That's
was so
amazing.
inviting. She was like, I'll see you soon. Just like, she knew I was coming. How cool is that?
That is awesome. That
And
place
so
Right.
specific.
too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was it Miss Fanny
she's
or was it
collects
the woman?
everything. There's everything in that place. She collects all these different
The owner. Yeah.
oddities, from coffins to embalming machines. When I
Yeah.
went
You
there, she
can
had an
barely
old
move.
100 embalming machine with fish in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so crowded. It's so crowded, that place.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Yeah, there was a lot of
stressful.
stuff.
A little-
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
a lot of stuff.
So my opinion was that it was Miss Fanny who was telling me,
Okay.
like, she was going to welcome me in. So
Awesome.
I thought that was really great. So that's my dream story. But yeah, so then
Cool.
fast forward to several
Very
years
cool.
later, we're here with Mr. Dalen Spratt from the Ghost Brothers, and so many
Yes.
other amazing programs.
It's
And
good, yeah.
we decided to get together and do a team up and do this really cool show that myself and my lovely producer Kay had been developing, and we named it Phantom Forensics.
Okay,
Right.
I'm going to put a picture up. This is chapter 1. There's 3 chapters.
Mhm.
Okay.
So far.
So far. I was going to say, so far, 3 chapters. And
So
we can
far.
work on that
Yeah. So yeah, this is awesome.
in Columbus. So from what I understand, all you knew was that it was in Columbus.
Yeah, so
I've seen all 3 chapters.
Okay, so my producer, Kay, and I won't give anything away in here. There might be a little
Yeah,
bit that we talk about, but
well, a
if
little.
if you folks in the audience want to go watch, and I think you should, you'll
Yeah.
really enjoy it. It
Right.
was a lot of fun. So yeah, my producer Kay moved from Manhattan to Ohio recently, and she's been in the film and television industry for a very long time, and she's very well respected. She produced a couple episodes of the last season of A Haunting, which I know everybody loves. I got to be on A Haunting, and that's where I met her. And she also produced The Curse of Lizzie Borden, which was another cool thing on Travel Channel. That was one of her
Very
shows.
good.
Good show.
Well, most of it. I'll tell you
very
most
good.
of it. With our buddy Dave, and she did Roswell with Lawrence Fishburne, and then all kinds of other really amazing human interest stories through the years for television. So she's very well regarded and is a lovely woman, and knows what the heck she's doing when it comes to telling a story. So she moves to Columbus, and she's like, Scott, what are we gonna do? The TV industry is kind of drying up. I don't know what to do next. And I was like, we should do some YouTube. I was like, that's the move.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's doing. So we got lucky. She found a colleague that she had known from years before who owns a production house in Ohio. So now we have a producer and a production house. And the only thing missing is me to help tell the story. So her and the production crew linked up. We came to an agreement on how to film this stuff. And there's more to it, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, but more of the spooky stuff first. So yeah, we decided, like, Kay, who lives in the area, we had to keep it cost effective. So she did a ton of research on the area that she lives in and was like, okay, this definitely has enough wild and crazy history that we could tell some amazing stories right here in Columbus, Ohio, where
For sure.
where these things are based. So that's kind of how it started. And she was just like, what do you think about coming out here to shoot a couple days and see what we get? That's how it was born.
Yeah.
That's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then you started recording before you
I'm going to
left.
put that up on the screen
Yeah,
again.
so-
Talk.
So
Yeah.
basically, what happened was we had to come up with a way to show that, you know, I had not been there. I didn't know anything about it. And the best way to do that is to actually just sit here in this chair where I am right now and go ahead and start giving information about what's going on. And always in showbiz, always in doing what we do is showing is better than telling, right? So instead of me being in Ohio and being like, you know, when I was back home, this happened, I said, let's take a really crazy shot in the dark. Let me sit at my desk and do like a remote viewing session and spiritually see like what I come across. So the first things that started to flash to me were these graves, the very like a lot of shallow graves and a big fire. And Kay was like, okay, you're on to something. I'm not going to say anything else. Just write down all the stuff you get and make your video diary. So we did that, and most of it made it to the show. And it's always cool when you go somewhere and there's really crazy history that you've never heard of, you know, happening.
Yeah.
And you get to explore it for the first time. So for people watching, I'm a bit of a history nerd too. So I love when I get to go do these historic things.
Trust me, everybody watching is a history nerd because our show is very history based.
Yeah.
Our show, we typically do deep dive into a location's history each episode. So this was right up my alley and our alley, the show, because if you love history, you're going to love this show for sure. You definitely get into it. I don't want to give any spoilers away. One of the things I love that Dale and Spread is kind of like your guide. Like it's your show, in my opinion. Like I feel like it's Scotty, and he just kind of guides you, sort of, you know, like through it.
Yes, Dalen has the information for the location, and he is there also acting as the audience as well, right? Like he's an active participant of the audience, and a fantastic. So Dalen was such a great choice for what we're doing for so many great reasons. Number one, he is charismatic and he is just a kind and wonderful person. So again, like the beginning of our conversation, it's about who you're working with that you're going to be able to connect with and get the best results, right? So Dalen was somebody who I get along with really well. So he was the perfect natural choice for this, and he's a really great storyteller. He has his own YouTube channel. For anybody watching, you should go check it out. It's The Graveyard Shift with Dalen Spratt. Go look him up on all social media. He is always active. He flies every week to a different location to record his show, and it's amazing. So go check him out. So he's had all these really professional things that he's done, and then he has his own stuff that he does, which is also very professional, but it's not TV. So I presented him with the idea of what we wanted to do, and I said, it's not us running around with our cell phones and cameras that we got at Best Buy. These are real professionals. We're going to shoot this like it's a TV show, and we're going to tell the best possible story that we can with the equipment and the tools that we have available in the stories. So he was immediately on board. I almost didn't even get the words out of my mouth. He was like, I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah. He was like, I'm there. So it was really great. And then on screen, he's just this, it's good when you trust somebody that you're working with. He didn't make me feel strange about the things that I was talking about, and a lot of this stuff that, again, feeling like I was off target, he didn't flinch or make me feel like direct me one way or the other. He did a great job. So that's really important as well, because I know that there were some things that I hit on that some people might have jumped out of their skin because they would be so excited that I was getting it, but he kept a straight face the whole time, which was wonderful.
He sure does. He sure
yeah,
does.
he
And
does,
if you
right?
watch, if you watch Ghost Brothers, you wouldn't believe it that he kept a straight face because they're so expressive on that show. Like, oh my gosh, they're so expressive. But he just really doesn't flinch, like you said. He just listens. He's a good listener. He's a great listener.
And he was dialed in, and for future episodes, for future chapters, he is going to take a more active role, and we're going to expand that, and we're going to add some other cast members, which we haven't announced yet, but we are working. We have somebody that wants to do it. They're committed. They're a lovely person. I don't want to give any spoiler. I don't want to put any spoilers out there until we have it locked down. But
yep. Exciting though.
But here's what's funny, right? I'm one of the producers on the show, but for the first half of it, I don't have to produce anything because I'm not allowed to know what they're researching and what they're doing. So I get to sit back. The first part's easy, but then the heavy lift comes when they're like, "Okay, well, turn your camera on, big guy, and let's see if you're going to be as good as you were the last time."
Yeah. I got a
clearly
chance to interview Dallin on my last podcast, and he's really nice guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy, and of course, I met him at the VIP at the Para Unity. So him and the very nice people. Him and his crew there.
Yeah, when you click like that, the product is so much better. And you're right. That's a great way to put it. He's like us in that show. So he's like us, listening to you.
And he is. I can tell you, he has a hard time believing sometimes when I've nailed it, because when the cameras aren't rolling, he'll be like, "That was the craziest thing I've ever experienced."
Well, he keeps a straight face.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I was like, "Oh my God," like myself.
Yeah.
But I always talk to myself.
It's always good to work with people like you also. It's just like, in this field too, when you got two positive people, you're going to get more evidence. You're not going to suppress, you're going to, to me, if I go in positive or anybody goes in positive, I feel they get better evidence than if you go with negative and.
Yeah. 100%.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Although I will say, also.
That last time I investigated with Scotty, he called me all kinds of bad names. We did an SD session.
Sorry.
And he was calling me lots of bad words.
You can't be mad at me for the things I'm just repeating out of the radio.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, what, you call you a meat eater?
No.
Huh?
No.
She's a vegetarian.
No, he called me bad words.
You eat a hamburger. What? Not me. Fangirl.
What? I have to tell my Scotty story. Okay, this is my story. This is his confidence. This is the degree of his confidence. Okay, we were at the Red Mill in Clinton, New Jersey, right? And I got there, and I actually purchased a ticket for this event. And I got there, and I said, "Hi, I'm Jenny. Can I have my ticket?" And they looked, and they looked, and they looked, and there's no Jenny. There's no Jenny. And I'm like, of course you're like, I paid, really? Like, here's my receipt, blah blah blah. No Jenny. Finally, they're like, "Oh, you know what? It's Jennifer. It's under Jennifer." No one calls me that since I was born, right? So, okay, there I am. No problem. Scotty arrives, right? There's no more, he's late, right? He's late. He just arrives, right? Like he arrives. And there's no desk anymore. There's no lady. He walks right up to me and he looks at me and he goes, "It's not Jennifer. It's not Jennifer. It's Jenny." And that's all he says. And then he walks away and gets like a hamburger or something, like something to eat. He just goes, "Yeah, it's not Jennifer. It's Jenny." And I'm like,
it's Jenny.
Like
That's
you
funny.
just like, "Oh, by the way, it's not Jennifer. It's Jenny." Like you just are amazing. You're amazing. And then you walk away and then go get a donut. Like, "Oh, by the way."
That sounds like me.
Like, how in the world did you know that just happened? But okay. That's you. That's my Scotty story. That's just you. You're like, "By the way."
It's funny, right? Like today, because I never know what will why I'm being influenced. Today, I went to breakfast with my wife. We went to this place that's a little far away from our house, but we love it. Big shout out to Amy's Omelets in Long Branch, New Jersey. Love you guys.
Ooh, yeah.
We went out there for breakfast, and as I'm walking in, I start thinking about, this is so random, and please, everybody, I swear to you, I'm a normal human. I open up the door to this place, and I keep hearing the word sniper in my head. Sniper. Why am I thinking about snipers?
Scary.
Right? So yeah, but and of course, my job, I was like, there's nothing happening. But here's why it was interesting. About 10 minutes later, we're sitting at our table. I'm starting to drink my coffee, and these two older gentlemen, about a table or two away from us, are talking. And the one older guy starts talking about his experience that he had as a soldier in Vietnam and starts talking about snipers. Literally.
What?
And I was like, oh, there you go. That's why. Because that must be something that he carries with him so heavily that just
Yeah,
being a
you
little
felt
bit
it.
open at the moment, I felt it and I could hear it. And it wasn't a spirit talking to me. It was literally what was attached to this man's energy. Like he's carried whatever that is with him since he was a young man to now he's probably 80 years old or so, it looked like. So, you just,
Wow.
again, you just never know why you're getting information. And part of, with Phantom Forensics, that was like the key of starting everything. So for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, please go watch it no matter what we say here. Going
Definitely go watch it.
into downtown Columbus, Ohio with no idea of why it might be haunted was a really interesting experience because for anybody who doesn't know, downtown Columbus, Ohio is actually really beautiful. They have a big lawn and there's big office buildings and penthouses and this beautiful river with a cool railroad. I mean, it's just like cool. It's just like a cool place. So when they're like, okay, this is where we're going, I'm like, this isn't a haunted house. This isn't like a structure that I would have thought they would bring me to. I was literally outside. So I was at a loss. And by the way, it was like 10 degrees when we recorded. So big shout out to
Yes.
Dalen from Atlanta for putting up with 10-degree weather in Ohio and snow on the ground. It was crazy. So anyway, just for those folks who want to train themselves as mediums or as more in tune investigators, don't let what you see around you in the physical world influence your feelings. Don't bulldog anybody with your information, but if you just put it out there, there's a good chance that it's correct. And if you do some research, you could back yourself up. Because that's what it was in
Right.
Columbus.
And you make a good point, and no spoilers. You make a good point in the show that don't judge it by the age of the building. Don't judge it by what you're seeing in front of you, right? Like it might be a brand new condo, let's say, right? But
Right.
but you're seeing something much older or something much different. Don't let that influence you. You make that really good point in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also, when you go into locations, I find out that some psychics give a name to a spirit in certain locations. And instead of paranormal people going in and trying to go in fresh, they'll pick up on that name. And all night long, all they'll do is X that one specific name.
Right.
I mean, just go in and see what you could get.
Start fresh. Yeah.
What everybody else got in the past. So just see what you could get. Go in open-minded.
Right.
Don't go in closed-minded with somebody else's evidence and stuff. Just go in. Unless you got evidence in the past that you want to verify, okay. But go in fresh on every investigation.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's a
what
great
I
point.
feel.
Yeah.
And
So
go
that
in
was the
during
big.
and go in. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, okay.
I'm so excited about this episode.
Yeah,
These
go
episodes,
ahead.
like, and go
You
go
guys-
in during the day, like you guys. Like my project right now is I'm working with Richard Moschella. We're doing outdoor investigations in the woods. You were talking about elementals. Again, no spoilers. In this type of thing, we've been really focused on that type of thing lately, and doing
Mhm.
daytime investigations out in the middle of the woods, and you wouldn't believe what we get. Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
The spirit world
you
does
don't-
not care if it's dark or light out.
Which I was so excited when I saw you guys out there in the afternoon, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
We weren't
was
trying to
great.
make it scary for the sake of being scary, because the truth of what occurred in that location is far scarier than two guys
course.
stumbling around in the dark. In
Right,
the
always
future,
is.
traditional ghost hunting in the dark will probably be utilized for Phantom Forensics because it's a part of our culture and what we do. But definitely
Sure.
that during the daytime, I thought was so neat because it really takes that, like, oh, did you see that factor out of it, or like being afraid just because it's dark and like maybe you're ready for a jump scare. Like we took that out of it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
literally just the experience of what was going on around us and focused on the history. So it was really interesting.
Precisely. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I
It's
was so
always fun.
excited about in this show, really. And so many
Yeah.
layers of time in this show, which I always enjoy as well. Just the layers of modern time to, a long time ago. Again, I'm trying not to give too much away, but
Yeah.
I know Kim will be watching this at one point. Scotty does pull out a mel meter. That's Kim's thing. She's
Yep.
she's got herself and her mel meter, Kim. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, the mel meter
You guys had a
is a
spirit
really
box and a mel meter.
yeah, we were keeping it basic. Of course I had a bunch of equipment with me, but we decided that we would focus more on the things I was perceiving versus the claims that were being made in the third chapter of the apartment that we were in, and of course the history. And if something would have called for a REM pod or some EVP work, we would have done that. But really, it wasn't necessary for that particular set of circumstances, right? So that's the other thing I think is investigators a lot of times we get hung up on all the things that we've spent a lot of money on, right? Going into places and setting up all of our equipment and we're all guilty of it. All of us. I have cases of stuff.
Sure.
We all do. So,
Yeah.
but really, when, and it's not to be like smug or like put your ego into it, but like you are all of us, everybody. We are our own best piece of equipment when we go into a place that's haunted, or allegedly haunted, right? You can feel it when you walk in if you really like pay attention. So the equipment's really good for camera and recording results and seeing if we can make things happen and repeat themselves. Sort of trying to apply some of that scientific what do they call it, process to it, right? To try to get things happen and repeat them
reproduce
again and again.
it. Right.
Scientific method, there we go. So
Scientists, yeah.
Right. So it's good for that stuff. The reason I like the mel meter is because it's a very simple device. I have the one without the REM on it, so it's the very basic one. It shows the temperature,
Same.
which is good, and then it displays the milligauss, how much EMF is coming off of something. So I like it because, like I did in the show, I explained we walked down a hallway, and I believe the mel meter blasted to like 160 milligauss, which was crazy. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so if the person who lives here were to stand in this hallway in the dark, they would probably feel so paranoid or sick to their stomach if they spent time standing right here, because we know that high EMF creates that, right? So again, just by showing the audience and the crew members, actually, because our crew members had never done ghost stuff in their life. They were
I kind of
really
love that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I kind of like that.
It was their first time doing anything like that, so it was cool.
Yeah,
anyways,
I think it's better.
I was able to explain, like, okay, so we can use this meter and we can see that there's probably wires behind here or something that's causing this. So that's not paranormal. Or at least we don't think it is. We can show that this is way out of range for what we'd find. But when Dalen and I are standing in a different room and it's at a baseline of 0, and then all of a sudden it's jumping up to 7 and 12 for no reason while we're interacting with something I'm talking about, then we could say, right, like, hey, this is probably more paranormal than not at the moment. And here's some physical evidence to back it up. So love the mel meter.
Right.
Yeah, mel meter. I mean, yeah.
Kim too. Kim too. She's always got it in her hand.
If a place is before 1980s, it wasn't. A lot of places weren't properly grounded, especially back in those times. And because it's not properly grounded, you're gonna get those high EMFs, and of course you're gonna get sick from it and everything. So and it also affects your equipment, your cameras and everything, because it's too much, and that's kind of high. That's kind of high because a house is usually 120,
right?
120 and under, depending how close you are actually to locations, because you have to go through the wires and there's droppage and everything. It's mathematical stuff. But 160, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy. But I mean, you guys ceiling fan in the room? As I say, you're standing.
Dude, it was a modern building. It was like a really fancy apartments. I don't want
Yeah.
to call them apartments, but I don't know the right word. Like more like a penthouse is what we
Cooperatives
were
or
in.
something like
It
that.
was
Yeah.
it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was this beautiful, beautiful place. Anyways,
Right.
yeah. So that was the other thing is like we're in a brand new building. So why is this person on the 7th or 8th floor experiencing this? And are the neighbors
Right.
experiencing stuff? So we
Yeah.
did
Right.
speak to some neighbors that were kind enough to have us in, and we spoke with them, and there was stuff that I picked up on that didn't make the show because they were very private. I can sort of just say like one of the things that I picked up on was adolescents or children or people in their younger years and cultish activity for some reason. And what we found out was one of the neighbors' sons had been swayed into a very strange cult. And I don't like to get political or anything, but it was a very strange political type of thing. And another part of that was I had mentioned, like, I thought people were doing some sort of rituals or something in this apartment adjacent to where we were. And as it turned out, this woman validated, she said, actually, my son set up like crystal grids and he was doing all these like weird things. And yeah, he was definitely doing some kind of occultish type things in here. So we didn't air that part, but yeah, it was one of those like really interesting things because again, why would that tie? Why of all? It was so different from all the other stuff that I had talked about. It was the last bit of the puzzle, and it tied in. So then I have to ask the question, and there's a lot of threads that we pulled at that were for the next episodes. I hope we get to, but. All right, everybody here, if you're watching, I'm also a huge Ghostbusters nerd, like to the 1000th degree. I have
the whole outfit and everything.
I got it all.
Massive.
Baby. The only thing I'm missing is an Ecto-1 in a firehouse. Okay, so anyways, think Dana Barrett's apartment in Ghostbusters. This building that she lived in was allegedly like an antenna for paranormal activity. Well.
Right.
That's kind of how exactly. I love that. It's a really nice figure you have of me there. So
that's of me.
We say, why is this place that we're in Ohio have such a high active amount of things happening in it? And is it something to do with the location? Is it the building? Is it the people? And are the people like this young man who got influenced by whatever he was he okay, and this was just like a natural thing that happened because of the influence of the world, or was there some sort of entity that saw a crack in somebody's psyche and took a shot at them and kind of splintered them a bit, unfortunately. And for anybody who's watching this, I am a very practical and very down-to-earth person. Not everything is ghosts, not everything is paranormal. I have a lot of training in mental health, and I could say that I would say that mostly I know the difference between a paranormal issue and something is a mental health issue. And if I don't, or I suspect that it might be mental health, if I don't know, I find somebody who does know when we're dealing with those sorts of things.
Right.
We have the opportunity because we don't want to, I'm not a doctor and I'm not going to misdiagnose anything. So I want to always make sure that when I'm talking to people that have these crazy claims, that we really get a good idea of who they are in their family history and understand who they are as a person before we start being like, that was a ghost that made the, we don't want to get into that. So, but it does beg the question, like we have all this strange stuff that's happening in this building. The location downtown, people are experiencing things for years and years and years before the modern thing that stands there in downtown Ohio, the thing that was there before, people experienced it like crazy. So is there something to that property that is having all this stuff happen? Hey, what's up, Lonnie's World?
It's layers. It's what I call paranormal lasagna.
Oh, I love lasagna.
But,
so
yeah. Oh, I know. We got to bring food into it. I love that you also bring up in the show that the neighbors aren't talking to each other about it. That they're not talking to each other. So sometimes I think, if you are, like, say, in that situation and you're experiencing something, maybe you're in the elevator and you're like, hey, ever have anything happen? Because you have to, you never know. And other people might all be saying the same thing,
Yes.
I live in buildings like that. I live in a cooperative here. And you don't talk to neighbors about ghosts unless, now they're starting to talk to me because they see me with the jacket, paranormal on my jacket, on my
The ghost guy.
Yeah, the ghost guy, and whatever they call me these days.
They know.
His car has a sticker that says "I see ghosts."
The ghost
That's who they
cannoli
know.
or something like that. I don't know
Nice.
cannolis. But you really don't talk to your neighbors about that, because some of your neighbors, because some are religious and they look at you differently. You don't tell them you got ghosts in the house, because this place here, I see things all the time, staircase and everywhere. In the morning as I'm leaving, I hear somebody say, "Hey," and I hear footsteps behind me and stuff. Oh yeah, I get all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
And I see my hallway and all this stuff. My wife even sees them, and she's not sensitive. She sees them. That's how much she got stuff here. But you don't really get in the elevator and say, "Hey, what's up? Did you see that ghost last night?" It doesn't work that way, because some people don't believe it, and plus you got all different types of religions, and people look at you. I mean, to this day and age, because we're in a community that we talk about it, and we look at each other like, "Wow, that's cool" and stuff. But some people, you talk to, and then they get you first. They get that face like, "Why do you do that for?"
Oh, I'm sure.
It's not like you're going to talk to your neighbors about what's going on with the ghost situation.
I would, but they already know I'm nuts, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they pretty much know I'm crazy. So, but you must experience that, Scotty. Like, different reactions from different people. But hey, you know what? You got to be you in the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always tell people, don't labels aren't great. So if you don't,
they're not.
if somebody's uncomfortable with that part of me, we don't have to explore that at all as friends or relations or anything like that. If they don't want to talk about ghosts, I hope you like talking about cars or what's been on TV, because those are the other two things that I really enjoy. So, I could talk all day about those things as well. Yeah. Or donuts. Exactly.
Donuts.
Yeah. You got to be well-rounded.
Rhino Lourdes bought 24 donuts you missed this weekend.
Oh, they did.
Son of a gun. I had to work. You guys always
have fun when I'm working. They bought your donut too, with the paint on and everything. They had a couple of those.
Oh,
sorry I couldn't come, guys. That stinking work. The place always has me coming in. They won't pay me unless I show up.
Oh, it's so
What's
stupid.
wrong with them?
I don't know. It's like
I know. Come on. Come on. So can you explain how the next episode is going to work? Because I definitely want people to go watch this.
Dan, I would love to be able to tell you. Like I said, I don't know. It will be shot similarly. So the vibe of the show, I hope everybody that watches it likes it. Again, it is a professionally produced television show. We just didn't have a network. We'll talk about that. We didn't have a network to put our television show on. So we said, you know what? Myself, Kay, my producer, and the production house, Elevation is the name of the production house. The three of us decided we were going to form our own network. So we have a network on YouTube. It's called the Signal Network. It's where you can find Phantom Forensics. And right now we are looking for programs like this. So for those folks out there who might have a podcast, or if you're a YouTuber or some sort of, you have some sort of channel that doesn't get a lot of love, but you put a lot of work into and you'd really like to see it do better, what we're doing is we're taking your shows that you've already made and put love and hard work into, but you're having difficulty with the YouTube algorithm. We're taking your show and we're putting it on our network, and we're going to pay you guys 70% of the view, whatever you make in views. We take 30% and put that back into the network to get more shows going and make more episodes of the really professional stuff. So that is what we're doing. And it's completely free because it's on YouTube. So all the folks out there, if you're like, boy, I've been pumping this channel and I love it and I've been working on it for years and I put everything into it, but nobody sees it. Well, guess what? Now you can get in touch with us and we can look at it, come up with some terms, and we could put it up on our network, and it will be played after new episodes of Phantom Forensics and other shows like it. So
good.
So you know that now you can be you and be up there with the have your own space and almost guaranteed getting people to watch what you're doing. So that's what that's where the end of the TV industry has kind of brought us. And so that's we literally have formed our own network, and we're going to be I can't talk about all the cool stuff, but there's a lot. I'm very blessed, and
I know.
boy, did we step in the
So
right
cool.
direction on this. So for the next episodes of Phantom Forensics, there are things I'll give the last clue on something that I talked about, and how it came about, and then how I can only speculate like you guys. I'm in the dark. I have no idea, but I speculate that we will be following this clue. So, Dalen and I will get back together with a third and maybe even a fourth cast member. We have a couple of people that we really want to. By the way,
Hey, why
everybody no, this is, by the way, as I'm talking to everybody about this, one of the best things about what we're doing is there's nobody in a network really that can tell us no. So if I decide that I want to have whoever I want on my TV show, nobody can say no because I'm the boss. So I can bring all of my amazing friends, that I've made so far, and all these like we can really do some really positive, amazing work with this. It's just going to be a team effort. So anyways, that's what we're doing with the Signal Network. With the Phantom Forensics, at the beginning of the first episode, or the first chapter of Phantom Forensics, we're down by the river, and I talked about seeing a woman who was down by the riverbank, and she was screaming for help, and she's asking desperately for help, and she tells me her child is in the river. He's in the water. And I'm like, wow, what am I going to do with this? And I start talking about it. And as I said it, I'm talking about it, I can see it. And what was interesting was we didn't follow that lead that day. We went on and did other things. Yeah, it came to a dead end there. Well, I didn't know why, because it was a very powerful vision. So I didn't go after it or say anything more at the moment, because I have the utmost trust in Kay and Dalen to make sure that we're getting what we need. And if they didn't want to follow that is what it is. I'm okay with it. Well, later on, after we shot everything, I found out why they didn't say anything, because they didn't know. So I was talking about something that they didn't find in their research at all. And as it turns out, we had a couple people researching for us. So while I was talking about it, they were like, we don't know what he's talking about. So we didn't follow that lead. And come to find out, there was an incident that happened that was very specific. They found an old news article from, I think I misquoted myself. I think it was sometime in the 1800s. I could be very wrong about that, but it was a very long time ago. They found this news article, and it was basically an account of a little boy who said that the area was overrun by Native Americans that were attacking the settlers that were there at that river spot, and that his mother was murdered, and he was safe because he swam out onto a tiny little island that it was existing on this river, and he hid until the attack was over. And when it was over, he swam back and found help. And that was what the news article was about. So, yeah, so even something that I was talking about, they didn't know until I brought the details forward, and then they had to reverse and go look for the information, which is really an interesting thing, because all the other stuff I talked about, they knew. Like they were like, yeah, we know that, right? So along the way. So I hope we're going to follow that, but we have a really amazing additive behind the scenes, and who I don't know if will make an appearance on screen, but this gentleman, who is a historian for the area, has been working very closely now with our producer. And he really liked the first show. He revalidated all the things, like saying, hey, this is authentic. Like this is real. It's on. So now we have him, and he knows so much about the area that now when we go, it'll be very difficult for me to come up with stuff that they can't follow. Or at least that's the hope. And it's not always going to be Ohio. This is where we're starting. And then we're going to follow the threads for the shows to other places. But always the importance is finding the history, giving that voice to the deceased, and really telling the stories that need to be told. So one of the really interesting things that we hit on in the first or in maybe the second episode is we stood in this field, and I said, I don't know why, but I feel like people were executed here, but we're standing in a beautiful
Yes.
park, right? And then we find out
Right.
later that I'm standing
Oh,
where an execution
spoilers,
house used to
spoilers,
be.
spoilers.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ah,
Spoiler alert.
spoilers.
It's okay.
Okay,
It's
sure.
it's one small spoiler for the whole thing.
Okay,
So
okay.
you'll find out that there was a death house that people were, and this is why it's
Yeah.
cool. That's not cool. That's not a great thing. But
Yeah.
the first person in Ohio who's ever executed was executed on that spot.
Right
So,
there.
Wow.
Which was
yeah.
like, that was such a cool twist. Like
Right,
when
yeah.
they said that, I was like, oh,
right. So isn't
yeah,
that neat?
because like
So
you said, it's not the surface. You got to go past the surface. Like you're looking at a
Yep.
beautiful park,
Mhm.
Yep.
but
but
that's not what you
was
see.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what
So it
you're
was
seeing.
it's so cool to have that. So
That
then,
was amazing.
after the shoot's all done, I was like, well, that's really interesting. I want to know more about that. So then I found the name of the person, and I was like, it would be really cool because the person who was put to death and swore up and down that he was innocent. Like I think that most do. But as I'm reading his account, I'm thinking about it as a police officer, and I'm like, this sounds like he was actually innocent. He kind of just got railroaded. It was weird. So I would love to go back and see if we can communicate with him and see if we can get some information to come through to help us. Maybe he'll come clean because he did it, or maybe he'll be like, this is the direction you should look. So it's another great thing about the show. It's not a cookie cutter thing. You're not going to just see us go into, the same old locations over and over again as all these TV shows have done for 20 years.
Right.
We're going to new places you've never heard of. And the less haunted looking, the better, in my opinion. Because I love showcasing the fact that you could be sitting in a gymnasium somewhere, but for all you know, what was there 100 years ago was
Yes.
a murder swamp or something. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe
You go
it.
down
You
the
wouldn't believe
subways
it.
in New York. When I used to take the train in, I used to see stuff on the train all the time, or at stations. Wall Street Station was unbelievable with things going on there, or constant in that area. It's like it doesn't matter where you are. And
Yeah.
That's a
there's
great
something,
example.
just whatever
Yeah.
happened there. That's crazy.
True. So true.
Yeah.
And I love that it's like a spider web, like this show. Like, like you said, I get frustrated when, it's just like a tied up in a bow, like one thing, and when investigations to me are investigations, they
Yes.
go where they
And
go. You follow them where they go.
Producer K is going to love to hear you say that, because that was one of our main things when we were developing this show, is that in the paranormal world, there is no pretty bow. There never is.
No.
If it's,
No.
I don't want to say never. Never is too absolute, but seldom is there a final answer for the things that we are looking for. It generally will lead you into another direction and something else to look at. So most investigations are abandoned and not really finished, right? So that's why what we're doing is special, because for all I know, we could shoot six more episodes of this, and it could lead us out to the middle of Montana, but then in Montana it shoots us back to Ohio. I have no idea. I don't know where it's going to go. So that's kind of how Phantom Forensics is going to roll. Yeah, and it's just going to be
part of your show.
And we can bring in people who are specialists as we go, and it's not always big name celebrity folks that we know. It's going to be people like you and Anthony and Ron and Lourdes, and people that have been grinding away, that deserve some time in front of a camera and telling their part of the story and being important for what we're doing. And everybody has a special space for that, so that's part of what we want to do. And I want to make 1,000 of these episodes.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it.
It sounds good, because TV, the stuff, I don't want to watch half the shows anymore because it's just repetitious. The same thing. You're going in.
Right.
It might be a different location, or just the same location that it's been beat to death by every show, every network out there, because that's all they know, these specific places. So, and I like the concept that you're gonna go somewhere new and fresh, and
and follow it.
Yeah, and
follow
bring in
it where it
people
leads.
that that
The best
that have
part.
been around for a while that trying to do. Lourdes.
Great. Lourdes is absolutely right, as always.
Yep.
Perfect.
New
Perfectly
concept.
said.
That's what we need. We need new blood.
Yeah, I love
Well,
it. I love it.
I'm
I
old
love
blood,
the show.
but
Everybody watch it. Watch it,
Well,
watch
you're
it, watch
old
it.
blood,
I
so
love it.
it's still, but
Here's my fangirl. He's going to tease
yeah,
me. My fangirl segment.
She's
Fangirl.
always a fangirl. Fangirl. So
I do love it, though.
if anybody watching wants to help support us a little bit more, again, it's free to watch on YouTube, but we have this thing where you can go to phantomforensics.com and you can get a digital package with physical items. So we have different packages that have things like you get the show uninterrupted with commercials. You get like one package has patches and stickers for the show. Then another one has I forget what other cool stuff, but we have like a blanket. And then if the higher up the package you get, one has we'll have a virtual Q&A with Dalen and I. So we have a Zoom meeting set up where you can come on with us and, you can talk to us and hang out with us on Zoom. And then another one where I have a virtual gallery reading. So that's going to be set up here in the very near future as well. So if you guys want to help support the show, and just so everybody knows, none of this money is going back to us. This money is going and getting rolled into making the next episodes. So we literally need everybody to watch the show, share the show. And if you have, a couple bucks in your pocket and you want to support us and get something back, phantomforensics.com, check out the website. Big shout out to Elevate out in Ohio. They did a fantastic job getting the website set up. The editing is superb on the show. The music, like everything. So everybody knows, just so like the paranormal stuff is really great too. But just so you all know, like we had the guy who edited our show. He also helped edit like one of the big movies that sticks out for me is Insidious. So he's a professional editor. So the reason the editing looks so good is one, because Miss Kay, who's a fantastic producer, and this gentleman Eli, who helped edit everything. And he's worked on some really big projects in the past. So then we had our own music made for the show. So that's why it has its own vibe. It's not stock music. We came up with that. Thank you. That was Kay. She loved the music, and she had great direction on that. And just the whole vibe of the show. Something people really liked was I really like reading is when we run the spirit box, all the random letters and numbers that are generated at the bottom, and then the word shows up when we hear it. So I thought that, it's just like cool stuff like that you'll continue to see us use and evolve, and it's going to get better and better. But we need support for that to happen. So for anybody out there, please go. And then
go to it.
I've teased this before. We have other people that Dalen knows that have been on TV together, and I know they're very interested in doing some more projects. Dalen has something fleshed out already. So if we can get Fan Forensics moving, we can get this other project moving. Then we have a huge project sitting ready to go. And it is Bigfoots and aliens and government cover-ups and conspiracies, and not just talking about them like they do on History Channel, active investigation into this stuff. We have it developed with two really great guys signed on. We have them. We just need this to work. So everybody's watching again. This is literally the paranormal network and beyond for everybody who's been missing that. Like, we're doing it, and we're not having the big wigs tell us what we can and can't do. We're making paranormal TV for us, for the people who want to see it and want to watch it. So
that's funny, because when Dalen, I interviewed him, and that's what he says. Where to go? Because we were talking about how the shows and stuff and how to produce. He goes, where to go is go on YouTube. Yep. Because you have nobody telling you what to do. And everybody I spoke to that, celebrities and stuff like that, that's always their thing. It's like network always tells them. Some guy in a suit sitting in the office has nothing to know about paranormal, telling them what they should do.
Right. So one of the things when Kay and I have developed quite a few ideas for shows over the years, stuff that has made it to the top echelon of paranormal and television networks for approval. and basically like they were yeses until the very last person. Like one executive was like, we could say yes to this if Scott could guarantee that he finds a body at the end of every episode. And we were like, wait a minute, you guys want me to agree that I will be able to find you a dead body at the end of every episode? That's ridiculous. I was like, the chances of that happening are 1 in a billion. And for whatever reason, but no, we can't agree to that, so we couldn't make that show. And it was sad because it was the whole concept of the show was great, and you didn't need a dead body at the end for it to be great.
No.
You
That's
do the
not what
episode
we're
in
doing here.
the graveyard. Go to a grave. Say, there's a dead body.
Yeah. So now, at the end of
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So now we're not going to have anybody saying that to us. Now it's going to be me. I'm one of the 3 people you're gonna bring your show to me, and I'm gonna say I love this. We're always going to tell you the truth. Nothing's made up, and integrity is the key word here, right? So if you want to tell me a really great story and you do all your hard work and all that, we can put it up and you can present it, and it's all yours. We're not going to tell you no. We're just going to say it with the paranormal stuff. Always have integrity, because once you lose that, you're beat. So. Yeah, that's
sure.
That's what it's about at this point,
I love it. And I love that it rolls. Like that's just the way I think of it when you explain it. Like one thing rolls into the next, Good good rolls into more good. I know. Sup, Ghost? Come on.
Oh, you want me to
We need it.
I'm a little parched. I'm a little parched. I don't know.
We got 4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes, mate. Well, he'll have to stick around till the end then, I guess.
You guys stick around.
All right. Maybe there's no ghosts. There's always ghosts.
Everybody wants to look.
Do it. They're like, do it.
Oh, Melissa Blackman wants me to. What's up, Melissa Blackman? How are you?
What's up, Melissa?
What's up, Melissa? Oh.
What's up, Melissa?
Goats? No. And a ghost donut joke. I don't have any good ghost donut jokes right now.
They're all putting you on the spot.
Dry. Yeah.
Everybody's putting you on the spot.
Yeah, how about that?
Everybody put on the spot. It's okay.
We will spread the word. We will spread the word, spread the word, because we love what you're doing. And we love hanging out with you.
After we get off here tonight, I'm going to go check it out.
And again, for all of everybody watching, and everybody watching now and in the future, it doesn't have to be paranormal. If you have like a cool show that you do about skateboarding or painting or whatever, we're just looking for quality content from people who are passionate about what they're doing, that are not getting their time in the spotlight because they have no idea how to tackle the YouTube algorithm. We did that already, and we're looking for content to put up so that we can expand our brand and bring amazing creators to the front and get them paid immediately. So that's the other good part, right? So I know a lot of people struggle with YouTube, and it's very difficult to get a foot in the door, and it takes everything sometimes. We don't have the time to do it. So if you've put all the hard work into the storytelling and the video stuff, we can get you up or monetized. So go over to fanforensics.com, find the contact form and send something, and just put a little thing on the top that says show idea or something, so that our team knows what we're looking at, and we'll start looking at them. And we've already started compiling a lot of stuff. So very excited.
Show ideas too. You could apply that, and you guys will make it happen, or that.
Yeah. So there's a second part of it. So the first part is, if you guys already have content made that's not getting viewed, we can help you. The second part, which has got to come a little bit in the future, is we will start producing your TV shows. So after we have, because again, there's more that's happening that I can't talk about, but it's all, unfortunately, when it comes to any of this stuff, it comes down to funding, right? And funding on television shows is expensive. For what we spent for the 3 chapters that we made for Fan of Forensics, we could have bought a new car. That's how much it costs to get that going. Yeah. So it's not inexpensive to make those sorts of things, right? So we will, as we go. If we find like gems, like if maybe maybe somebody will send us something that's a really good show and it does well, we might take those people and say like, what other ideas do you want to make that we can make much more professional looking instead of like a vlog or like doing things at home or whatever. So yeah, that's definitely, again, network. That's what we're thinking. Bigger, broader
Right.
spectrum. And again, it's not just, we're starting at the paranormal because that's the world that I exist in the entertainment business with you guys.
Yeah.
But then it will expand because we want to do mind and consciousness. We want to do, again, like I love cars. So I want to do a channel, a broadcast channel for vehicles and cars and stuff that's completely detached from any paranormal stuff, and it'll be whatever we want it to be. So it's going to be really good.
Something
So
that
That's
you're
great.
yes.
I love it.
thank you.
It's good
So
stuff.
for my buddy Ron, sup ghosts?
We
There you go, buddy.
I love it.
yeah.
got the
gotta
2
have
hour
it.
mark here. So
There
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh, that went fast.
we
That
got-
went so fast.
yes.
Whoa.
It did go fast.
It
Scotty,
did.
you were amazing
Yeah.
guest. We really enjoyed having you on tonight.
Well,
I
thank you for
know,
having
it's
me.
just
It's a
so
I
pleasure.
mean,
It's so
it was
good to
great.
spend time with you. I haven't seen you lately, so it's been good to spend time. But I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Yes, I
Probably
will
at the
be.
Shanley.
Yep, I'll be at the I'm not a guest, but thanks to the Shanley actually, and one of my very nice friends, Jay Quellen, I will be at I'll be at the Paracon in Farmingdale, New
Oh
Jersey,
yeah.
hanging out. Dave Schrader's going to be there. It's a cryptids and UFO and
I'm
paranormal
going to be
thing.
there too. I'll see you then.
Saturday. He'll be there.
So-
That's this
Saturday.
Saturday.
So this Saturday, thanks to the Shanley Hotel and my friend Jay Quellen, I got a set of tickets. So I'll be there with my buddy Brian. Yep, my buddy Brian McCauley,
Oh,
who's
nice. Nice.
a longtime paranormal investigator as well. So we're going to be hanging out and rubbing elbows with some of you guys. It's going to be great.
I love it. I love it. Yep. Anthony will be there.
I'll
this
be
is
there.
This Saturday. This Saturday.
Yeah,
Yep,
the
this
7th.
Saturday.
Ron
Yeah.
and Lloyd
Yep.
will be there too. They're speaking.
And Ron and
Oh,
Lourdes
nice.
are speaking. Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
good. You guys can
yeah,
introduce me to the person who runs the joint.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, it's my first time there, so I'm setting up my stuff for my pictures. So
Awesome. Can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be one of my I got displays and everything now. It's like, oh wow,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
he's all-
trying to
he's
move
all-
up with that. You know,
I'm like his assistant now. I set up his stuff and I show people. I'm like Vanna White. I'm like, look, spirit art.
That's so
Oh.
awesome. I love it.
I'm still getting things in, and we were past the 2 hour mark.
I know.
So we
Scotty,
definitely have to end the show. Sorry, we're
Thank
2
you.
hours,
Thank
2
you.
minutes.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you for your show. Thank you
Yes.
for coming.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
this great new show that I really
Mhm.
enjoyed so far. And
Thank you so
now
much
I'm
for
like,
that kind words.
now it's like I gotta have episode 4 though. That's the
yeah,
only problem.
I'm gonna watch it tonight when I
coming.
get off. You know,
Okay.
Yep.
again,
Yeah, 'cause
thank
you're
you for
like,
being
leave
on.
it on that cliffhanger there. Like,
I wanna-
now we have to do this. Okay, ready.
I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight. We got Ron Lourdes,
Oh, so
Twin.
many.
What was it? A lot of people.
So
I can't
many,
go
so
back.
many people.
Everybody's still throwing things in. All the names are going up, so I can't even see exactly everybody on. But I
Thank
want
you,
to thank
everybody, for watching.
Thank you for
We have a
watching.
great
It was a great
audience,
night.
and
you know?
they're going to help out. They're going to help
Thank
out.
you.
Okay. Thank you for everything. Thank you for showing. Scotty, don't leave yet.
Okay.
We're gonna have an after party.
Okay.
No, sit tight.
Thank you for everything, people. Everybody in the audience. We just got to tell you, you got to be safe out there. You want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. Forget about it. Ciao, familia. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?